Hello everybody, welcome back to iBuddy Math, and today we're going to be going over mapping notation or mapping formula, specifically across transformations. Now what this does is basically allows us to map these points across different transformations, meaning if you have something and someone says, oh, you want to horizontally shift it, then stretch it, then shift it upwards, and then compress it, you can do that in a point without having to manually put those things in with the formula of mapping notation. Now this formula goes as this. These right here, as you see here, are x values, and this right here, that is our y value. And these values, these two values for each, dictate how it's going to look like when it gets mapped. For example, dividing it by k or d, adding it by d, or multiplying by a, or adding by c. Now let's go through each one of these. Now, first of all, we have to understand k, this is a horizontal stretch, a is a vertical stretch, d is a horizontal shift, and c is a vertical shift up. So I'll show you guys what that really means later on, but essentially all you have to know is that this, again, is a horizontal stretch, this is a horizontal shift, this is a vertical stretch, and this is a vertical shift. So K, D, A, K, D, C values, that's what they call them. Now, before I move on, I hope it's very important for you guys to know is that once you get the D value in a formula, it kind of inverses. And the same with K, it kind of reciprocates. So you have to be a bit careful with the X values, but we'll get into that very, very quickly, specifically with the last two questions. Now, here's our first question. We need to get X, Y, and it's telling us to map it across X plus 3 and Y minus 2. Now, it's specifically talking about the points 4 and 5. So what we need to do is substitute them into this. Very simple. We can get x value to be 4 plus 3, because we put that in, which gets x equal to 7, and then y is equal to 5 minus 2, which gets us y equals 3. And that's basically it. So as you see here, we just simply substituted it in, show that the points could be there, and what's happening here is that we're horizontally shifting and vertically shifting. Now let me show you guys exactly what I mean. Now when it's x plus 3, that means you horizontally shift, not right, but left. You horizontally shift left by 3. And the reason why is that whatever this value is, you kind of invert it. So x plus 3, even though you might think that means go 1, 2, 3 to the right, you actually go 1, 2, 3 towards the left. And that's essentially how it works. Now let's say it was x minus 3. That doesn't mean going left by 3. That means going up or right 3. So it's a very important distinction that you guys should know beforehand. Now, the y value is a little simpler. This literally just means down by 2. And since our value is 5, you go down by 2, so 3. And this just means go left by 3. So that means 7. X equals 7. Now, moving on to our next example. This is also pretty easy. We have 2x and y plus 4. And the way this works is that you want to simply use our same notation. So 2 times negative 3, and then you want to do 2 plus 4. So this gets us negative 6 and 6, and that's our values. The same exact thing is happening here, except we can be a little bit more careful in the way that these don't inverse or anything. And earlier when I was showing you guys this like left and right example, it's mainly for conceptual understanding later on. So let's just move on quickly to the third one, and this one's not much different. It's x minus 5, y plus 1, where we're transforming 6 and negative 2. So now, basically the way that this works now is that same exact thing, set x equal to x minus 5, obviously, but that would mean x is going to be equal to 6, so 6 minus 5, which is equal to 1. y is y plus 1. So we set y equal to y was negative 2 plus 1, which gets us y equals negative 1. So this gets us 1, negative 1. Now, question 4 is where things get a little bit more difficult. And I'll be explaining a little bit more why, but you're applying this x over 3 into y. This is a horizontal stretch by a factor of 1 over 3 because you reciprocate this 3 when you're talking about it. So anytime you want to describe a transformation, you go like, oh, x over 3, that means 1 over 3. This y value here, same thing, but actually no, it's much more different. You don't say that, you just say vertical stretch by a factor of 2. And I hope this was mentioned earlier in the other topics. So the way you want to do this now is pretty much the exact same thing, except now you have a little bit of division up in there. It's 9 over 3. That gets you x equals 3 and 2y. So y equals 2 times 4, which gets you 8. And that is your two values right there, 3 and 8. Now 5 is another very similar problem. Here you have that, and you need to do the mapping transformation for this. Essentially what we need to do is write the mapping notation. So we compare. The formula for this is y equals a f k x minus d plus c. That's how you kind of represent it, where f is that function. And what we can see here is that our a value is 2. Our k value is kind of 1, because it's kind of factored on there. And our x value, we don't talk about that. D value is 4, because you inverse it from there. And our c value is 3. So what we get here is once we apply this into our formula, we get x over 1 plus 4 and 2y plus 3. And you can just negate the 1. So finally, question 6, and this one is also harder. We have y equals negative 3f, 2x minus 1 plus 5 in mapping notation. Now, the way we do this is a equals negative 3, k equals 2, d equals 1, and c equals 5. So here, let's map it out. And of course, the d value is inversed. The k value is the k value is 2. But now, from the mapping notation, you go xy is equal to x over 2 plus 1 negative 3y plus 5. And that's essentially how you show it here. Now, basically, as long as you really understand the transformations earlier, this shouldn't be much of a problem. And I highly recommend you guys, of course, do practice. The main points here is that d values and k values, specifically, it's not really shown here. But those are the most wonky ones, which are the ones that you guys need to really target. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you do the worksheets that are posted under the website. And I hope you guys learned something.